Now, answer na mebo special quest Peter. Ne video no tie me ye. Sality no masemi me ba fia for 2021.
Okay.
Let me cover some no buy 2021 November. The wahasa the synchrophobic me call ye mami do. Abrofo mi do take mo de omo ansi. And they be farm me call the Denny Group COO, Mr. Winfred Afo office. You can't back home, you know me, and some ye demo mudra or menumusa. Now, common buy. Let me share say voter region, courage question got time. Time, a very rice project, and once and by we are little and some so yes, unity. Let me question see fear very man. You hear stories, no fear history, no go. The best quackman will be a bam fantaman kuntum to be precise. That time now, Pentecost elder kuntu blanksen. Now a DMP will remote than 2 new stories. My minute when you say, yeah, Quaba. I'm saying, Mon Comra.
Go and come.
Adiana Motesona Yadiamam $2 billion spend. Close to $1 trillion, if you care to know. At the less value, Kasi and Farmer Mukradanya $100 billion. A Australian company.
Yeah.
Omoko 2022 you resume here na me year store no be na fe. Omo na o mabro funi na ba ha. E no so yetena ase. Ye ba mu na fe de akai na say they would love if I can furnish them with the documents that I have. Number come to some casa maboda. If you Australia bet na krum have ebe sayadwe na me san kwese sameme nkrata no emrel, and that they were not told all this at the Minerals Commission. But no problem. The more person mo your mind be ana. Say yen come hwe. What dey monto to mopa. Na nche mo be shedi for.
Yeah.
What dey koso to pa na kosa. Me shedi for. Me drum and kasimpa na me hwe the way the struggle for lithium awon Fantiman district di mu a na me yabo hyehyeme ntokro pa ya bobo okro ni mu no nye ntokro keto a yes ye exploration me hu a omutuko that no problem. But what here? My uncle has a special quest Peter. What here? Never shall see. I think I catch us up as all fight to corruption. Krum had you suba into me. And so what here says away a walking sacrifice. Number 2. And so what here says what do you know? Watch him. Hoping our dream because the sentence are packed room corruption. And you have a number and Akufado into Indian. Akufado then one count corruption. Me say a branch here grant, yes, say, me say, Ministry of Justice and Attorney General. Ministry of Justice and Attorney, you said, yeah. A branch here no A4 sheet, one fat rim nina and a co you. Innocent. Rim ne walk on where you should be the Akano. And a Otribi. And the coffee. Said the other choir. Oba I know see no a man a dream be na ohia bibi sa de atrotro ni ade. Nanado. Emma just suspended the 3 months salary at the Torim. A4 sheet in the core Ministry of Justice and Attorney. 3 months salary. And when a man can say, oh, Papa, correct. That fight corruption, actually, will be our krumha. Come on, moment to Indinachi. Special prosecutor, me crowd me who so no so. Esa kofa Martinamidu. No many adje. That time in my party. Akofa NDCD. Tia correct pa. Send ye bikunu. Kofa Abrante Miami New Subaye. Bobo. What do you say? Table of 4 can ye? Yentienu. Yanko.
Those who call to admonish me, I always assure them that I do not believe that our judges see themselves as above criticism. Indeed, I vividly recollect when years ago, as a private practitioner, a justice of the Supreme Court softly chastised me in open court that I was not churning out enough published articles in critique of their work, because I was a lecturer at the University of Ghana. The judge added that criticism of judicial pronouncements was essential in guiding judges, and he fondly recollected the regular publications of old in the University of Ghana Law Journal and the Review of Ghana Law. I reckoned the judge's observation with admiration. Collectively with the well-meaning lawyers who admonish me, we philosophize and wonder if our judges would do such a thing as gang up against the flagship public anti-corruption agency to scuttle its work for whatever reason. Our musings ran along the lines of, would that not defeat the fight against corruption? Would that not put our young democracy in danger? Will the judges not stultify themselves in the process? We always end with an open-ended sigh. Sometimes a sigh of relief, sometimes a sigh of concern. That may that never be the case. And personally, I do not believe that our judges will ever adopt such a dystopian stance. However, members of the press, there appears to be a developing trend of rather regressive and dismissive judicial decisions in respect of cases involving the OSP with troubling consequences. And it seems to us that a careful examination of these outcomes portends a disturbing specter that the fight against corruption is being hampered to the disbenefit of us all. And I do not say these things lightly. 4 instances will suffice. In one case, the OSP applied to the High Court for a confirmation of a freezing order in respect of a deceased person's estate. The judge refused to confirm the order by, in effect, holding that the OSP had come too late since the person of interest had died, and that his death had extinguished the inquiry commenced after the occurrence of death. He publicly commented on this outcome, and the danger of this outcome is obvious, members of the press. It is to the effect that a person may, in his lifetime, acquire property through corruption, and then upon his demise, happily pass on the corruptly acquired property to his estate, and by so doing, extinguish all scrutiny as to the propriety or otherwise of the acquisition of the property, because his corrupt activities were not discovered during his lifetime. In the second instance, the OSP had declared as wanted a person it believed to be a fugitive from justice. The person, through his lawyer, proceeded to the Human Rights Court on an ex parte application, and the judge, without even an inquiry as to why the OSP believed him to be a fugitive from justice, issued an injunction that the OSP should not arrest the person for a period of 10 days. Members of the press, this is dangerous. It encourages criminal suspects to go before the courts to seek injunction orders against law enforcement agencies from apprehending them. The judge did not advert his mind to the well-founded proposition that no one has the right not to be arrested, and he accorded the suspect a right not to be arrested. My learning of the law for the past 25 years in 3 different jurisdictions.
Miraho and Medical ka say o person fight corruption na wo man mu ha. Aje wunya misuban ni bi. You see nothing, you hear nothing. Sentesa. You see, kisi eja bin swat by force. I mean, so I realize that now how often ko. Why you do. Cause Adrian na wo minu ani trim say corruption no be sia no. Emre bi o baby. E bon komo bi o baby na me catch no bi say we. I think komo bi o ha think komo bi o ha. Hotel bi wa Chimota. Menim de nti e poboni bia ba Ghana ho na ye bono. Ivan, what the lithium be shase na how de.
Wanyabo we dey emfa we shase. And my mencha what here for. I'm not sure say anybody is surprised. I only share his frustration. I only share his frustration because when I'm not a fan idea Juma way man, I openly sat on TV and said, "Sir, they are just setting him up to fail because you see a Juma Yesu and me and Peter and me yet." Because I offer Marty and me this summer fight corruption. Now Ugane, a free room ha. Kisieja been looking at him, he's not somebody with a boss with whatever it takes to fight corruption. So to me, I am not surprised.
Now they are in Sanchania Yesu into my also being me.
Peter and me, Captain. And Sawohe the air persona. The situation is one we share the frustration because if you are hired by criminals to fight crimes, you will never succeed. Because the very who are fan say I'm fighting corruption, they are the very people who are just ripping and tearing this country apart. Obviously, that particular venture will not succeed. So frustration in there. This is just the beginning. But as a young man with aspiration, dreams, wanting to leave some indelible imprint to be on the minds of Ghanaians, Captain, that particular side, and the frustration, ever high things, the era will be colored by some of these negative way I cause office, but my catcher said the office of the special prosecutor was a useless creation. Say created the office of the special prosecutor, a further burden on the taxpayer. Because some person fight political corruption, you don't need to be setting up many offices and then as a forum. Sure. What you need is political commitment on the part of the establishment. Say indeed, we are committed to the fight against corruption, and whatever it takes, and we will strengthen existing state institutions, arm them with the prosecutorial powers, arm them with all the resources that they need to go after persons of interest, so far as corruption is concerned. But one yes, idea we craft a policy out of a populist campaign. And idea we buy a man for better as some can say, oh, yeah, buy because the president is committed to setting up the office of the special prosecutor. And the idea to bring Martin Amidu into the fray wasn't the fact to say about fighting corruption. They thought Martin was a better man against NDC. So it was a fair opportunity for them to exploit his anger against his people. But Martin Amidu, he's a fair-minded person, an independent-minded person. You cannot string control him. He decided to do the right thing by going after very persons something against the state. President Mini Yapam, and in the end, or no one can say benefit catching Hobaka said no, or no one life of politics the most corrupt person he has ever encountered in his entire political life, Kufuado. By describing him with those unprintable words, a mother serpent of corruption, dear social media, so this is a summer year count. I do a Martiami Duanya Nakofaki Javins Omega Homeya. I say, would ya grow? Yes, when to me and your Peter, then a Peter Betimia. Enti Nasa Niama we on the Muno, because the very people of interest are Sabi. Kisia Bemba formo. Now, why should him a man 7 hours? I know that they even court no crowd will not even allow him. Because Sir John Weir, he made an attempt to freeze his estate. And Kwesiaga, a branch here not a Flanster house, or I'm afraid Galamsey issue by Nas Echini, I'm afraid it's a central region guy. Acquire sitting as a form, and also the same process started here, Yatuguye. And several instances about at the end of the day, Kisia Jabinian Sasia or prosecutor Biao. At a preliminary stage, and all year at the court, preliminary pony. and a court no blocking it in this particular faction. Then somehow can believe it or not, go further to deepen the kind of concerns people have about the integrity of our judiciary. Because yes, you don't expect him to have a free ride, but the preliminary stage, let him set the stage, come to the court, and the main trial, no, differ. But the early stage, now you use some of this procedural, you say impropriety, whatever, just to, yes, I would say, frustrate him. And at the end of the day, court will continue to proceed to the next stage. At the end of the day, you are rather a burdening criminal. At the end of the day, some of these technicalities will be there to prevent the person. Because you can't say the issue. The last time I was telling you, somebody went to the UK in his room over $10,000 pounds. All declare an asset in the police in the catch and say, my name find shame. Or the shame say, you are $10,000 or jail. $10,000 in somebody's room. Today we are here, somebody a whooping $1 million, and then them on your Jumabia on one factory. And now your name say or your magician or turning leaves into money. We don't know. Such money I will nip them. Now he is trying as much as he can just to ensure at least public and you're very much concerned because of the area you will mean. Now, you use some of these technicalities, air blocking and so forth. Actually, Gabin is not a private enterprise or a for private person. He's an employee of the state, working with the resources and on the purse of this particular country. The same state in their financing. If among state institutions, there can be coordination and that kind of interaction among them, to speed up the process, just to ensure, we can proceed from the preliminary stage to the main stage. Now see your corners will differ because court they are to because Sikanu Gunipani them automatically will differ. Go through the process, but at this early stage, the president are not committed to the fight against corruption. It's the same the John populist campaign that make us crafted this office because our person we now fighting corruption properly. You can decouple or detach the AG from the whims and the conveniences of power. I remember on the video, just to support what you're saying. I mean, a special prosecutor. Your kind,
Wait, let us bring before you the body of our investigation as evidence. Now, if you look at it and you decide that the evidence does not show up to the standard of proof required in criminal cases, then you can dismiss it. But don't prevent us from doing our work, from investigating. It is dangerous. As I said, I wasn't sounding as a prophet of doom, but there is doom looming ahead of us. That very soon, a murderer will boldly walk to court to seek an injunction. Should I feel frustrated and resign? I took an oath when I was sworn in. And in my life, when I take on the reins to do something, I do it to the best of my ability. I often say tree. Those who do not understand tree, please forgive me. They say I'm a unquanoma. But they make cry about for it. Me hear me to me. I'm reswan. Echo. Yes.
Hi, Charlie.
Yes. Captain. So that is the sad reality we are confronted with. Very often, people thought, say, anti-government.
Anti-government.
Yes.
The government will be my anti.
Yes,
government is anti-government. You're near buying my anti-government.
Anti-government, anti-Akufuado. This is the reality. This is the personal. On one fan so in Yajuma. This is his frustration. So the state at no point and also interest in the fight against corruption. The win is just politics being state managed by these actors just to convince the ordinary Ghanaians they are fighting corruption. But the reality, the real criminals are free, doing whatever that they want, using state institutions. Because yes, here to crack down on state institutions, and started with the media. And there are several people within the media today, they don't feel comfortable. There was a massive crackdown on the media. From the media, it went to state institutions. Asabi individuals from Uyo say, fighting corruption. They did the same thing, and they do these things with the court. That is the danger. Because Abra Domlivo issue no buy ya obi file seeking interpretation at the court. Ya transfer my pamnu ye manu kofie and sign a court to do ruling. Ebeka say na president eni ho kwan nyansa be in the womb because judicial system nyansa e wom ni say. it is there to serve a purpose. So when Jama didn't say we, Nanipa say we are now the ruling about say, that is the kind of modernity these people need to subject their mind, their thinking to. That kind of antiquity, way of thinking, you know. And I say no, Sansa Munu, a chum, and some teteno. And I say, will be a court, my lord. Now, question no. Such nonsense do not play at this area. You will be. We live in a world where people are becoming consuming information. A man for want to take part in the offense political process. They are called Captain. So what the ruling no bar? People will not insult you. People will not attack your integrity, but everybody has the right to express or no opinion about the ruling. So they will look you in the face and tell you, say, Pastor, ruling out by any. So as a judge, you have a duty to ensure, say, ruling out the will be accepted. Because you see, in dispensing justice, you know, it's not just about looking at the fact and dispensing justice, but also it's about looking at the fact that dispensing that justice, you know, will hold society together. So if justice you are dispensing, you know, have the capacity or the tendency to disintegrate society, and then that is why they need to watch their integrity. Abra Chief Justice we by the first statement I make and say, looking at Pine Bakono, Papa no saying. No, Chief Justice Bakro no. Bema
Pam Secondary School.
Yes. Yes, the era or judicial na pansam no. To the extent that we are not the judicial a subject of mockery on various social media platforms. Unanimous 4, unanimous 5, there, and some point in time, not trust crano, a bit so Obano, I told her, say, the best thing about me here is to redeem the sinking image of our judiciary. Said by your betimia and your public trust and confidence. But the judiciary can only be powerful. Abra, you know, you subscribe your support, near trust in the judiciary. A bear son, a bear uncle to say. You're very saying, I say, oh, that the Lumba remes, yeah, Captain, yeah, because I'm quite a man, say, we can't remes. I can't, the court cannot be alone. You need to work with the people. But I can say, wage who is really working for the interests of the country, and our people are just getting away. So at the end of the day, no, there is no conventional deterrence. Just set it up within the system. A cow people say, some these are the consequences. They are procedural way. You go through. Now, I state in the whole and on daily basis, these issues of corruption keep popping up on daily basis. At the end of the day, you don't see anything on the part of the age, you know, or also there he's part of the government. The only is to safeguard and protect the interests of the government of the day. He doesn't give a damn about anybody. These are people whose allegiance is supposed to be to the Ghanaian people, to the constitution, and to the state. But the allegiance is to the Nipano appointed, no, they don't give a damn about Ghana interest or whatever. And the Niama is against the state. So if we get to a point where you lose grips on the judiciary, we have lost grips on the executive, and then the parliament, then state there will be no state. Ghana will become a lawless enterprise. I said, Ubia sorry obey the ope and that is why Kisia Jaben is sharing this particular frustration. But sometimes you begin to wonder, Abraham Matiami do resign a no corner. And some no can as a new person I didn't know. I said go pay attention to the fact. But he thought it was just ordinary politics. These are his friends in power. So he had never just because some of the issues Matiamidu raised were critical issues that he should have at least negotiated or maybe have some discussion with Nipano appointed and say, these are the frustrations of my predecessor. I don't want to go through this same ordeal. Then you have certain assurances from them. And Sana Beki Jumano, but Ghana near Yamana Juma, he didn't care. And even Matiamidu at some point in time warned him. Said Nipano no Mukwaya Jumano will not give me a free ride. Because there were numerous examples everything cited will go through, and several other individual journalists as well go through in the same bid to fight against corruption. And he is lucky that he's even alive. Because if we are more pretending as a former, his life is in danger. Anything at all can happen to him. And with that particular kind of description, so Captain, the conclusion on this particular matter, they said, the fight against corruption, no, nobody is willing, nobody is committed. The only politics is being stage managed. People are just hyping on the emotional keyboards of Ghanaians because they know the ordinary Ghanaian, the average Ghanaian, is an emotional person. Politics, you know, the emotions, so all you have to do as a leader is to stage manage that emotions. At the end of the day, you can control their minds and get away with whatever that you want to do. And it's exactly what is playing. Issue no by even media, no, depending on where one stands across the political divide. I don't make me find no more discuss it. There are other platforms here, but this is a guy. To say he will help in the fight against corruption. Yes, did not tell me all over, Captain. But this is a guy. Why you not being said? Me, I don't say I'm quite normal. Yes, okay, number that number Captain, the media house or political biases in as for a normal. The American, CNN, Fox News, Brevet, and other way. They all have their political persuasions in as for them. But real fact of national interest. You delve into the issues based on how it is. No emotions, no string control. And never build your mind. But you can see you go this particular way. We will never move forward. And one can who be an and never PMA and lithium DI can once I say,
Professor Stephen Adai so say, or say stop directing people to attack critics of your corrupt deeds.
Oh no. Yes. Or
say, o cassette ya by now. So you near me, na by now, small crop say, you may attack.
Or I can say, or no uncle,
Nabote, nearby, says we are chemmy. I very about no say 1 year old. I mean, kind of pepper or say, not one occasion did I lobby to serve or join a gravy train of the corrupt.
Now,
and one appetite.
I know I'm appetite. That Ben no realizes, sir.
What's it that Ben no realizes?
And the okay cano. That Ben no realizes, I do. And when someone was Jerry,
there be way up Mobuchichi. If you should ask the catch us a denchem name you were.
Captain said you're not in the court, Jerry.
What's it?
Say you're not in the court, Jerry.
So cosum.
When the man a coy.
President, that's your uncle one. So no cause so Ghana.
Was so a couple,
but Okoye who said Yaman said he attended your resign.
Or the got to be money, and son, who say something is wrong there. Okodu one and why Dana no did know. Not one water to a Boba Park and also. Okay, cannot dent Ghana for. Or money rent fee require a kite. Sa hypocrisy na no amuti krom ha nti ne ye da no. Once I can say Jabi asem no kan no. O kan yema bebre but o kan asem bi o say o ba ye no. Close to 1 year. No ne nam onya baby ntina nya adwuma oni office. Wo ka say matena mi do ka the same thing. Emma krom asem chofo bi didi na tam say yama ne we aso wonpe. Yama ne ha ye o se wonpe. The same thing I can say Jabi so abeka. Eti office na no mo so ma set up na matena mi do so wonpe.
Main fight corruption. Aban way so to be fight corruption. 0.00000000001%.
And yes, I to me, oh, he's not willing.
That means no to me,
no.
To me.
Because all the necessary.
I'm waiting my girlfriend contract.
I'm out back.
It's me my contract.
You see, Ghana for I think the hypocrisy that you see, no one Papa or Kasai, on free Gambia and a bio. What's Ghana here? Abra, you start here on this particular platform and they pinpointed key issues of national interest as he come once. He was there, and in some instances he was out there. You saw things that years until he got out. What has here? The fight against corruption, you know, Nipa no move free more no. I give you as a picture skill description of what is actually inside. Yes, corruption, you know, I have perception and as for. But for the first time, these people have placed faces behind this perception.
Yeah.
So it is no longer an abstract term. And then a reality you're dealing with big key individuals. And look at the description of Yusu. Corrupt trade, you know, he's not willing to join. So the president, you know, again, when everybody, even the very people he has appointed, pontificate at him say corruption it deep into the fabrics of President Nano or Nwankasa ne abaina yatim no. What is the commitment? What is the level of commitment that all boy are using state institution to crack down on these things? At the end of the day, on Nwankasa air cracking on state institutions are sabi omba fighting corruption. So where lies that commitment?
On one and more kind, one to me and find Juma. Another is not a man of his ways.
I shall protect the public purse and not the public
purse. Or no opposition, announce principle, no can lay the quarter say a entrapment. No, Nimsa announce a creative idea now or TBB, what should I put person just to say some TBB to person who say no cry. No Nimsa announce the energy. Even that is, I don't cast what they
even that is absolute nonsense. Listen, Captain, corruption. And your market, your corruption over Toby obey say you. No, it's a business that is done in the dark. It is something no, but it's a pure common sense. It's something that is done in the dark. So you can't just walk in and arrest people. What I say? So for you to unfold what is happening there, no, some of these string operations, I wouldn't go into. And it is not only peculiar in Ghana. Elsewhere, FBI, even the CIA, they go undercover to unearth some of these criminal activities.
And I say entrapment.
Yeah, and entrapment because I walk and your mom will sell it and cry. Those syndicates operating drug cartel and as a phone. These are businesses that are done in the dark. The only way to unearth it is to go undercover. So that is the kind of principle Anas employed, and are you yielding results? And Anas was not only working for Ghana, even in the sub-region. BBC phone you soon know in several operations.
And now, what's here? I'm almost saying entrapment.
Yet here, President, the friends at Al Jazeera, baby, Efano.
And when you see what
he threatened to sue them. He threatened to sue them. This is an executive president threatening. So you see, our president is a joke that nobody should take him serious. Unfortunately, no one mess up this country. And sometimes I don't want to see them referring to him.
Bronino say former deputy chief of staff Ajidisi Kanobenya.
Oh, you are.
Look at this.
Bronino ni abregidi.
Bruni.
What's here no cry? I said, not some more catches a Nipana Jinisicano or no so cry while Manaku Nanadu.
There also went to
I went to
the necessary. One district, one factory. No, a Juma say the Mono factory necessary Mubisino. When yes, I see Canintino. Yamanam to me and yes, our factory. No,
Nanado
so we cash for seats. Yes, Yaklen. Australia have a scanda. Yes, Yaklen.
Captain. Or the Animguasia said, "Your post you on your mount, one Casabi will be all to me and crying as I have good about because yes,
yeah."
Because
that's
I said, America.
Corruption, your man could do to 9 crap.
Because what did in the last 7 years? Corruption, every single corrupt activity of our Papa Kahobi. And what's the answer? Your sober reflection now, you tell yourself, it is my dignity on the line. Every day, me doing air back corruption, as a forum, and to me, be to sanitize myself. And other aspects, and so nothing seems to be working.
Oh, yeah.
Menka will lit on the you know. I'm not crying here, man. Captain, win him. Yes, Africa, you all the resources we are seeing about here. And I teach you. The last time I was telling you, say, you can have all the resources in the world. We are useless. The Nimiansa Babaji, and they could develop in home. And what is playing out in Africa, the playbook I adopted, say, we have the natural resources. Ye Nimiansa, and Tibomefa, Namanfanko. And so here, some China, and other interests, Eba Africa, that is exactly what is happening because we have all the natural resources. So, yeah, young mistakes in the past. Hope inside this time around, Asabi, and the Biabaya, young lithium, our high. I employ some of these modern modalities. I'm for this extraction, you know.
All right, yeah. Fat video, no, you are now. Me lithium myself, no. Me say me come. The man have me can lithium. Yeah, this me can next year. Yentie the Bruni ni kan. Before I be video, no. Asenso Boakye mate. Say yes, watchro. Mate say yes, waka. Say onim papa no. Ewo baby a ba wo de yente de papa ne kan e pa che nko
I recounted my own visit to Flagstaff House on December 26, 2017, in which the president's nephew or cousin, Asenso, who is one of 2 deputy chiefs of staff, solicited a $20,000 bribe in order to either gain access to the president or for further favorable action on the appeal which I was delivering on behalf of the company, which was a guarantee for a loan by the Exim Bank of Ghana for a one district, one factory loan from a Ghanaian bank. The companies that I work with are Yendi's nominee under one district, one factory. The circumstances of this solicitation of a bribe were that the first chairman of the New Patriotic Party in the northern region, Alhaji Sunday, had taken me to Flagstaff House, and he had prepared me by having the same conversation about 3 or 4 times, informing me basically what would happen, that we would probably meet with Asenso, we wouldn't meet with the president himself, and that Asenso had the power even to override the president's favor if he indicated, and we did meet with the president, that he was willing to support our getting this bank loan guarantee from the Ghana Exim Bank. Alhaji Sunday made it clear that Asenso's word was final. When I met with him briefly, he demanded to know what we wanted right away, which I appreciated his directness. And then as we were leaving the office where we had met, Asenso, first Vice Chairman Alhaji Sunday of the NPP in the northern region, and myself, the other 2 went off on their own for a few minutes, and then Alhaji Sunday returned with a note for us to go to the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and the note said that that ministry should hear what we had to say and then respond to him, Asenso, before further action. And Alhaji Sunday then conveyed to me the demand for the $20,000. I had already told him we would not pay any bribe, and as a result of this, I'm sure the Ministry for Trade reported back to Asenso that result, and there was no further action on our plea for a bank guarantee loan, a loan guarantee of the Exim Bank.
And that's some okay now, no say I'm Paddy, I'll say.
Captain, but he has no reason to lie.
Yeah, I mean,
and you see, this same Asenso Boakye, don't forget to say, the issue by Kennedy Japan Bakabi, am I setting up parliamentary committee, I'm a motana, so investigating the same things that or the gate fee and some of who president. At the day, Parliament could not give us a closure on the matter. Gate fee? Yeah, not the gate fee, and we're our Parliament got in the committee, you know, and this is the report by, and MPP didn't report by, they couldn't even agree. So, you see, yes, will be cancer. Because this is a guy who has been fingered in a similar instance, even committing craftiness. So, I did a man some of and in a serious democratic dispensation where sanity, they cherish so much in our dealings, you know. I said, we bar, you don't just brush it aside. I'm told that we issue statement, a statement they can't even sign yet. Captain, this is a serious issue. Remember, but it's a feather in that.
A conference or my area,
no press,
and I will hear what talk kind of.
Yes,
so we know, and all bias.
Yes, and this is a guy who is giving date and time
and mentioning a particular
names of individuals within. You see, so as I'm not going to and you expect to send some swift response, we free the presidency, but the now Kufuor is out there in Kumasi telling people to vote for the same guy who, on many instances, has been figured in issues of corruption. So, among focus that the president is the real deal when it comes to corruption. Mistake Ben and Nipanaye, because you are there. I will share among Funkunai. I will do something who good gun and you must sabi. One I won't pay when you won't find home because there are some people who don't even care about integrity. Then as for and I heard the way I conducted on one way. Why I know be our bombing fita dukuno. He doesn't care about anything. But Ghana for we cherish our integrity. So you cannot always be dragging Ghana's name in the mud. Ghana, the shining star of Africa, and they are mine about nam and I beg for anything bia sakeke. So Captain, corruption is nobody is willing. Then back to lithium dynamic mechanism. I'm the person because Captain, modern practices are buying there. So when you lithium now, you don't just hand it over to Obise Betu Namame Commission and Abetu Namame when I'm working from 5% to 10%, from 10% to 13%. Difference when they make it. When countries are making similar drills, even this year, Oko Bolivia, or more identify the same lithium. And Captain, you see, lithium at this time is the new gold.
Hey, the new gold.
Because the world is changing away from fossil energy, you go to clean energy. So batteries, cars now, electric cars need lithium battery. And there no lithium, and you gold. That is what you have to have at the back of your mind. And it's a way to discover lithium and now put it to proper use. Oko Bolivia, they have proven say indeed. They have signed a contract with a Chinese company, a technology company. We set up 2 plants. Bolivia. We invested $1.4 billion and industrial will be generating $9.9 billion within a space. Omono go into a joint venture. That is what you do. Ebasa, stake, but you don't just hand it over. And Mamin found Saudi Arabia. Do you know why all of a sudden they have become rich? Abra UK for Nija oil no come discover no. There is this American company that came and I'm a partner with them in a joint venture form. I'm gonna find this Aramco ya uhui. Started here Arabian American or company and drill oil. But by 1973, now they've managed to acquire 25%. Now they have acquired 100% stake. Aramco, a fully state, fully owned Saudi Arabian company. More to oil. Was to scanning about mine doesn't go anywhere. Regular resources now be here to do those things, You only hire. And I said, when you finish, you pay them. But scanning and then oil doing oil I will be seeing Saudi Arabia a control because I need on to. Then the resources in as for them. So look at how they've been able to manage the resources in such a way that they have become a global giant. And Oko Mexico now that this year, I'm president. And nationalize it, your friend saying, lithium deposit. I want set it up a company. I know 2 lithium no Mexico. So whatever resources that they need, they will hire and pay them. So such modalities are available. Now and this modern era, fortunately for us, and lithium new gold. Now say Ghana, your team identify a DSA. What you expect is at least say Ghana probably to me as a Ghana lithium company. Now your partner would be making sure say yes, set up plant I will have say you bet me turning into a finished good. I be you to be let be quite about I want to man for a new one and as if we be banner and easy. But I quite set it to the na or bossy gold. Now your time. Now they are more busy between my your friend is saying commission and I between my royalties. Nani panel to your friend is saying Baby and not mammy way former your friend and mammy or electoral commission boss. I evaluation on this particular way. Amount of money within 15-year period these people are supposed to be generating somewhere around $292 billion. $292 billion from a Woya site in our central region. How much are we benefiting? How can we be so stupid? Always and always.
Now, what start Tiffy Akokrum? From Akokrum, Sa could drew comments number 1, number 2, number 3. When I lithium.
Yes.
The biggest deposit, Ansaze.
Okay.
Mankasi. And then the control part of it.
I'm focus. And lithium, my motive, I'm going to say, Obi nim details, no documents, a few Papa be the buy. Okay. About 2 years ago. So we are privy to a lot. 2 years ago, the man came here and brought detailed documents about this whole thing. And there are some I cannot get to a captain. And come expecting Senka for the first time. You go to call your diamond, call your oil, your Dakwa channel as a for this particular wine there. Sabi, you may nearby a Jose. Why you mean more Africa, more resources here? Nyansa ni Hontino, ye Toma about Mumford the Koye. I know that there are people who go into those deals, at time. Now more than sure now the people continue to live in misery and poverty. How come? And all the resources we are seeing now, the average and the ordinary Ghanaian cannot even find a job. The average and the ordinary Ghanaian have to struggle to travel all the way to somebody's land to join this modern day slavery. Are you thinking that people are happy exiting the shores of this country? People are going out of desperation because there are no economic incentive, there are no opportunities. Let alone few greedy people in the name of politics are capitalizing on that, and they are just saying FRDBR to themselves and their family. The ordinary Ghanaian, there is no hope, there is no way for Obia or Maimu as a captain. Me say, ewo nebedi crane. Say you to know a front man for na dikin krenya. A hona you who or Mumbedran or Chroma say. Because and now it will not continue like this because you see, and the information are available. People can with a bottom of when they click on the bottom, you can search and do a lot of things. And I make a choice this year, countries are more lithium. Atlas set up a more company going into deals that benefit of minor, making sure that the industrial planting as a foreign year will be set up and whatever deal be able to will happen within their country, their people will benefit. Now, foreigners have a even gold to cry the galam say crown, yet they are foreigners. I shall want to say nobody, you know, you see a jail for your first 4 years. And I am telling you,
or punishing the parliament.
Captain, I'm telling you, sir, this on the jail.
But general, because I'm running a clay.
Opa, generals are on tracking the entire
what jail in the citizen or about the fund the knuckle. It's Asha one or Beko. Asha one deal, no. Sometimes I wish people know what I know. When you marry first one. Asha one started say Odin some phone. Now buying you bet me stopping the wind, me stopping it because. Now you are a sino-hydro loan.
And there was a for crime.
Or something for credit, meaning I could drop a catcher and say, young jelly, no, I bear then in your bessia. Tianya. I buy the transit was afraid that China that now, maybe 4 billion, 500 million crime. Now buying in Sajani, Tisana Tedia, or so prosecuted Ashawan. Time now, they do Yana Ashawan, cover 20 or lifetime in jail, no. Now, on a year, your biggest debtor.
Yes.
Yeah, the China catcher on maybe
bilateral.
Asha one so gold no tour on Fantina Ghana or the China buying. Not China buying, they are supporting the economy. No. The Sana tell us we are Bema. It's a Sami Jitum IMF, the World Bank, then come for an abwa. Man, 10 years they had here. Asha one case na saying it.
Ain't na me I am one say worker say judge and say because the law is clear. Or say for a foreigner who engages in illegal mining at 995 stipulates a fine of not less than 100,000 penalty units. That is 1.2 million Ghana cedis, and not more than 300,000 penalty units. That is 3.6 million. Generate you. And also a term of imprisonment.
When you marry a ritualist, don't be afraid of rights and actuals.
Because
you married a ritualist. You are afraid of a right and actualities.
So
they be have a listening.
Because you see nipa no kokot na wase ni JB yemikunu. Echina kwa say Lord yemikunu. Ade acho kwa say yi pa kwasi yemikunu. Ene na obekwa say Ivan Sapenti yemikunu. Enti ashawo akokot a every day bi obo be ma foforo di say nikunu no. Because o meka che say wa ware oye Ghanaian.
On say you tree di na say. They say your friend kodwo yire nchi kumani asem. Enti oba o say your friend kodwo odi kumani odi yire nchi odi asem.
Ena ni nyina wo court ruling. Ena make am say but Ghana so yetimi so phone so.
No, say compromise on one side because the republic no any show any seriousness of fighting corruption. Yantiana the same Chinese ebetwa rosewood kama e de call let you your mother till date omko.
Me yes story no that time me wadom so mo take committee wo northern region the then northern regional minister so mo de me letter bremi any ma appear before until the document na me wo no me send me na me then producer list we could do for job was he kid am say bro was men send ni na ma no o de me send kakrama no can we na and check na coordinating the then coordinating director from me all the way from northern region coordinating council captain What you send me, are they part of the things you want to come and say? And say yes. Let me talk to the Honorable Minister. We'll get back to you. Maybe they will come tomorrow.
Is a captain. Nipania bro Kroma. Me what teach me to say yes a media commission for the letter Abramo say.
Yan pass and papa being kind of media commission. Yan pass and for coming.
So captain, corruption was a cano. A very serious issue. Oh no, that's it's a blue. But the next time, yeah, come once you see, some papa or they need to avail their mind too. I'm for TV, so yeah, ritual advert and then I said for who just idea no our impact on society. Ruben I will play such nonsense. I think the Ghana for we've had it to our neck, and you see they should get serious. You know, yeah, do it right. Do it fair because the captain smart here. Now I can say yeah. All right to take him on. You have no business sitting there issuing statement as for such nonsense cannot be tolerated. And that is what I want to put across. What I say? They have a Juma somewhere. Sa TV and other channels. Quite some who am for TV so. Obit me the bag be so a young century with TV so. Yet Yana and Cranketwa, etimi fa obi. And the quiet money wrote to Obison or head with TV. So people sit on TV and put adverts there. Or more Illuminati as for if you want to live rich, they are advertising such nonsense on TV. You're a media commission, who say, and crowd such things having an impact on them. You sit here and you tolerate such nonsense. What are you ever actually ask them? So, Captain.
Why am I so from me? Oh, as a fear.
Oh, but you see, you cannot use such tactics to cow anybody into submission. At this point in Ghana, for our rise beyond that, because with the advent of new media, social media, and stuff, you can't control the narrative anymore. Those were the days you can assemble few guys, give them money, and control the narrative. Today, you can't control the narrative. I move so because platforms are diverse. Or be able to match an argument. Era of free speech. Free say nipa na ya de makase ya etie obi enu obro mra so obi kan sem na free say sabi wakwa etia wa you can take the person on emra okrom ha but don't use some of these useless administrative tactics more used in the past to shut down, close down radio stations in this civilized era. Such thing will not happen because the backlash I'm telling them they cannot handle.
TV.